Hello, welcome to day 17 of my 108-day commitment to create and communicate. For those of you who are new here, my name is Sarah and welcome. Today, what I'd like to talk about is being redirected. As I wrote in my morning pages this morning, the date, August 17th, I was aware that it is my father and stepmother's 40th anniversary. So happy anniversary, Dad and Penny. 40 years, second marriage for both, and it gave me an opportunity to reflect on my experience 40 years ago when I was 26 years old. My parents had been getting divorced. It was actually quite a brutal time in my life, and my life fell apart. I fell apart, and I thought that everything was happening to me. And 40 years later, I can look back on that time and realize that it was a time of redirection. My life was going down a very traditional path at that time, which at the time was well and good. But in the cauldron of my parents' divorce and being back in my hometown and kind of going through all of the disintegration and dissolution and intense emotions that were happening, I also at the same time became introduced to new ideas, Edgar Cayce, Shirley MacLaine, and Out on a Limb. And books like these just opened up and expanded my awareness, so much so that I started doing yoga. And then from doing yoga, when I left Cincinnati, I went to Feathered Pipe Ranch up in Montana to be a cook for a summer. And out of that experience, I was led to Boulder, Colorado, which is at the time was just where Naropa University was, and just all this expanded, yes, new age way of thinking, right? And I got married then in Cincinnati after being at the ranch. We moved to Colorado, and I lived in Colorado for 36 years. My life was so divinely, sublimely redirected that without the pain and the dissolution of my parents' marriage and how that affected me, I may have just stayed on the course that I was on. So today really had me pausing to reflect on, where have I experienced tears in my cosmic fabric? Where have I experienced catalysts? Where have I had experiences that literally took my path and shifted it to a whole different place in a whole new direction? Which reminded me of, everything that happens to us happens for us. And I know when I first heard that, I was like, what? No. Like, what about when things really terrible happen? But you can hear how there's always a silver lining. And when I step back and ask myself, well, what if everything that's happened to me, the most painful things, has actually happened for me? And I get to see where it was a realignment, a readjustment, a refinement of where I thought I was going and who I thought I was. And it opened me up to something so much greater. I saw a great quote this morning, which was part of what inspired this particular subject for this video. Do not fear the unknown. The unknown is where the rest of you resides. The only thing you will discover is more of yourself. So when we're redirected, we're actually invited to open up to the unknown, right? And I know for myself, I can be scared of not knowing what's going to be around the next corner, the unknown. And yet, if we can accept that not only does everything happen that happens to us happen for us, and that the unknown is where the rest of me resides, then I pause and I come into, well, what if actually there is a divine order within it all, even if I can't see it with my human mind, my human self, that my soul, my greater mind, actually knows the bigger picture. And then as I was thinking about all of this, I was taken to the phrase implicit order, spoken by physicist David Bohm, Bohm, and he said what the logical mind sees as chaos is organic order. What if there is an organic order and a divine design to all of this, to the universe, down to our lives? And what if we don't have to know it all, but in opening up to the unknown unknown, we can align with what is our soul purpose, of more of who we are, and that life just opens up and unfurls and evolves, and that there is an order, a beautiful divine order that gets to be expressed and experienced. Until tomorrow.